take this one and a few more sometime after 6:30 right here on your nation station. Right after the announcement, it's time to say good evening to the, of course, time to bring you the evening news. Sandra Henderson, very quickly. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, and it's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station, DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening. In the headlines, a student of the Benz Primary School tops the first leg of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson Ministry of Education National Reading Competition. From the region, Antigua and Barbuda diplomat urges CARICOM Secretary General to consider resigning, and internationally, U.S. says it has not requested Iran's ceasefire extension, but ongoing talks are productive. These are the headlines making the DBS Evening News. The details of the news to follow.
Join DBS Radio as we continue the drive to improve reading skills on the island. Primary school pupils across the island will let their imagination explore as they read more. The DBS Radio Felix Henderson Ministry of Education National Reading Competition begins in the month of April, and we are calling on the business community to support the initiative. Support the drive as we read to succeed.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Evening News. My name is Alian Christopher. A student of the Benz Primary School has topped the first leg of the first round of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson Ministry of Education National Reading Competition. The first leg took place this afternoon at the Paybush Primary School. 5 schools participated. Here are the results.
5th place, we have Miss Okima Joseph from Temple SDA. In 4th place, we have Zahira Martin, Will Strathmore Stephen Primary School. In 3rd place, we have Ariana Challenger from Paybush Primary. In 2nd place, we have Amelia John Baptist, Lighthouse Christian Academy. And in 1st place, we have Emara Benjamin from the Benz Primary School.
That's Masters of Ceremony Jueli Brown. Meantime, Parliamentary Representative, Paybush Constituency, Lakia Joseph, encouraged the students to read every day. She addressed the opening ceremony of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson Ministry of Education National Reading Competition.
Today is about something much bigger. It is about confidence, it is about courage, and it is about discovering your voice. Because when you stand or sit to read, you are doing something powerful. You are telling the world that I have something to say and I am not afraid to say it. And that matters. But I want you to understand something also very important. This competition is just one small part of a bigger journey. Reading is not only for today. Reading is for life. When you read, you can travel the world without even living where you are. When you read, you become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a scientist, a leader, even before you grow up. When you read, you begin to understand things, ask questions, and think for yourself. And that is where the real power is. So I want to challenge each and every one of you, not just today, but every day, to read something. A book, a story, a poem, even a label on the bottle when you're sitting on the toilet. Because every word you read makes you stronger, smarter, and more confident.
Parliamentary Representative for the Paybush Constituency, Lakia Joseph. Cabinet has approved the waiver of the fee for obtaining birth certificates during the ongoing voter confirmation period. The decision was approved during the Cabinet meeting on Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. According to a brief issued by the Cabinet, the measure takes effect immediately and will remain in place until October 14th, 2026, coinciding with the end of the confirmation exercise. The waiver is intended to ensure that citizens can access the necessary documentation to participate fully in the process. The government of Dominica continues to encourage all eligible citizens to take advantage of the confirmation period and secure their right to vote. Dominicans are being advised that applications for birth certificates can be submitted online or in person at the Registry Division on Dame Eugenia Charles Boulevard in Roseau. Member of Parliament for the Marigot constituency, Anthony Charles, has expressed his support for landowners' decision to permit developers of the international airport to mine aggregate at Crapo Hall or De Branche. While acknowledging the concerns raised by environmentalists, Charles emphasized his commitment to progress for the country. He believes that the construction of the international airport holds significant potential for both Marigot and Dominica as a whole.
Construction of the international airport is one of the country's biggest capital projects. And we've been so fortunate that we have basically all our local materials like aggregate and sand and stone to do this project. So this is going to save us a lot. And couple there was a situation where I see a lot of ecologists and environmentalists are very concerned about the environmental impact. But moving forward, the landowners gave the okay to remove the stones, and the government realized they had to put the mitigation measures in place, or the developer or the contractor CR5, which they are doing presently. So they are moving forward with the quarrying or the mining of the stones, because we need the stones to complete the international airport, which is going to have an impact, a great impact on our environment, especially in Marigot. So I'm just supporting the landowners by giving the permission to the developers to remove the stones, which we know are going to have a greater impact in the near future. So the ecologists and the environmentalists, I know they have the concerns. We just have to meet the concerns, do the proper measures, the mitigation measures, and put it in place, and let's get this project going. And because we're already behind, with development, there's a lot of disadvantages. So we have to prepare for the disadvantages, and in the near future, we'll see the advantages. So on the mining project, I support the mining or the quarrying of the stone, because we have our materials. We're going to use our materials. We're going to import the materials, and it's close proximity to the airport. So we're going to use these materials to build the airport, especially the runway.
Member of Parliament for the Marigot constituency, Anthony Charles. In recent times, a few individuals have been protesting against the quarrying of stones at De Branche. A health symposium and recognition ceremony are part of activities for the first ever week-long observance of the Dr. Carissa Etienne Primary Healthcare Week 2026. The symposium and recognition ceremony are set to take place at the amphitheater of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital on Thursday from 9 a.m. The Dr. Carissa Etienne Primary Healthcare Week is being held under the theme Primary Healthcare Services, Refashioned Health for All and Health in All.
For this week, we also have our symposium coming up, the Health Symposium, which is also for Health for All and Health in All. So we have that coming up on Thursday, and then also at the same time, we also have the award ceremony coming up to appreciate our staff in primary healthcare, those who have given endless services to primary healthcare. So we also have that also coming up on Thursday.
Acting Director of Primary Healthcare, Dr. Mutio Olagunjo. Dr. Olagunjo stressed on a number of other activities taking place in all 7 health districts on island.
We have numerous activities in the district. In all our 7 health districts, we have a lot of activities going on. Like if we look at Granby, we have mental health grooming, that they will be taking care of the mentally ill clients in Granby, like taking care of feeding them and then shaping them up properly. And then also we have in Portsmouth, in Castle Bruce, talking about women reproductive health. And likewise in St. Joseph, we have adolescent rally that will also be going on in St. Joseph. And we have CNCD screening on the block. And all these are part of things that will be able to help us to bring down the numbers of CNCDs to be able to help us to be able to send out the preventative measures out to the public.
Acting Director of Primary Healthcare, Dr. Mutio Olagunjo. Minister of State in the Ministry of Youth and Culture, Senator Oscar George, has told students that primary health care is key to their success. Senator George delivered the featured address during the official opening ceremony of an adolescent rally by students in Roseau this morning. The youth rally was among activities to mark Primary Health Care Week, held in honor of the late Dr. Carissa Etienne.
Primary health care, as we know, is the foundation of health care. And the quality of primary health care can determine how productive we are and how we progress as a country. And this is why the engagement of young people is so very important at this time. And these young people here with us today, they represent the future and also the present of our country. And we want them to be in a position where they can contribute meaningfully to our growth and development. But the reality is, as a young person and a student, you won't be able to contribute to your true potential if you're not healthy. You won't be able to contribute meaningfully if you don't practice healthy lifestyles. And certainly, you won't be able to contribute meaningfully if you don't look after yourself and do regular health checks to ensure that everything is okay. And this is why I want to take a moment to just applaud the efforts of the ministry on organizing this important rally. To the young people here and the students, my message to you is very simple. Wellness is not about visiting a doctor when you're sick. It's about prevention, lifestyle choices, mental balance, and community support. It's important to live an active lifestyle. We spend too many times on devices, and we have to start engaging ourselves in regular exercise, and that can play an important component in reducing the risk of chronic diseases.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Youth and Culture, Senator Oscar George. Meantime, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, Dr. Kira Paul, encouraged students to reject alcohol use and promote physical activity.
So today, I challenge you, stay away from drugs, excessive alcohol and smoking. They derail your future. Don't follow the crowd. Make decisions that protect your life and your goals. Think long term. One bad choice can change everything. Know your body. Understand how it works. Move your body daily. Football, netball, cricket, dancing, hiking, the options are limitless. Limit screen time. Balance your phone life with real life. Limit screen time. Balance your phone life with real life. Physical activity helps not just your body, but your mood and confidence too. Eat more local. Dashin, plantain, breadfruit, sweet potato. We also have our local potatoes here too. And plantain, breadfruit, yam, fresh fish. Fuel your body properly. Cut back on sugary drinks and snacks.
That's the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Dr. Kira Paul. Brand manager of the Dominican National Lottery, Eronia James, says over $5.4 million has been paid out to the gaming public since the Blast Mystery Progressive was launched. Her comments came this morning as LeBron Lazar of Scott's Head picked up $114,389 and Kimberly Joseph of Goodwill received $127,260 from the Dominican National Lottery at Prestige Folks Gaming in Portersville.
Since the introduction of Blast Mystery Progressive, we have had an impressive 18 winners, 18 jackpot winners, with a total payout exceeding $5.4 million. Today, we proudly celebrate our 17th and 18th winner, since the game has been launched. We are delighted to present Mr. LeBron Lazar, our 17th jackpot winner, with his winnings of $114,389.65, which was won at our entertainment center on April 2nd. This marks the 8th winner for our center. Then we are going to present Miss Kimberly Joseph with her jackpot winnings of $127,260.03, which was won right here at Prestige Folks Gaming, which is located in Pottersville. This is the first time that the jackpot has been won at Prestige Folks Gaming.
Brand manager at the Dominica National Lottery, Eronia James. Dominica will host a therapeutic weekend experience for married couples and single individuals during the second edition of Resuscitate, scheduled for next month. Attendees of the event will receive counseling sessions from counselors from across the region and an opportunity to reconnect with nature. Founder and organizer of Resuscitate, Nathalie Marshall Joseph, says the event will run from May 22nd to the 25th.
May 22nd, the counselors are going to be here. Mr. Sean McBride from the US, Maryland. His counseling clinic is a couples counseling center. From Trinidad, we have Dexter and Camille de Bellot. They were the couple that were here last year, and they are returning. And of course, Lester Guy and Glenora Packett. So the Friday evening is especially for them for, conversation, interactions. On the 23rd, we are hosting the workshop Sunday, the 24th. Dinner. That is going to be at the Intercontinental Cabritz Resort and Spa. The dinner, of course, is black tie. On Monday the 25th, we are doing the Nature of Love walk and a one-pot with Chef Neander. And this is taking place at Syndicate. So I invite you to participate, not just because it's another event that you're curious about. Be curious about your well-being.
Founder and organizer of Resuscitate, Nathalie Marshall Joseph. That's the National Focus. Stay tuned. News from the region and the world. Up next.
Join DBS Radio as we continue the drive to improve reading skills on the island. Primary school pupils across the island will let their imagination explore as they read more. The DBS Radio, Felix Henderson, Ministry of Education, National Reading Competition begins in the month of April, and we are calling on the business community to support the initiative. Support the drive as we read to succeed.
DBS News.
Welcome back in news from the region. Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the United States and the Organization of American States, the OAS, Sir Ronald Sanders, is urging the Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett to consider tendering her resignation amidst the ongoing controversy surrounding her reappointment to the post. Late last month, in a brief statement, the CARICOM chairman and St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew said that Barnett had attained the required majority from among regional leaders regarding her reappointment at last month's CARICOM summit held in Basseterre. But Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who was not present when the vote was taken to reappoint Barnett, who became the 8th CARICOM Secretary General on August 15, 2021, has publicly challenged the reappointment process of the Belizean economist. And internationally, the White House says reports that the U.S. has requested to extend the 2-week ceasefire with Iran set to expire next week are not true. Discussions around a possible second round of peace talks with Iran are ongoing and productive, the White House added. This comes as a delegation from Pakistan, which has been acting as a mediator, has traveled to Tehran. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country is prepared for any scenario in regards to the war. Well, that's the news. I've been the presenter, Ardian Christopher. The DBS Evening Sports Report is up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's bull off with cricket news as Arsenio Fontaine did it with the bat and Dylan John got crucial wickets with the ball as Dominica took down Grenada to register their third win in the Windward Islands Under-19 tournament at the Benjamin Park this afternoon. Dominica were bowled out for 192 in 43.1 overs, batting first. Arsenio Fontaine top scored at 43. Derwin Lewis got 32, Nian Davis 24, and Joshua and Joseph 23 not out. Aravindra Bishop, he picked up 3 for 37 for Grenada. Grenada chasing 193 to win. They were bowled out for 179, with Kevon Bartholomew getting 49 for Grenada. Dylan John, he picked up 4 for 30. Arsenio Fontaine 1 for 18. Dominica took the game by 13 runs. Dominica's captain, Arsenio Fontaine.
Yeah, man, it was a good encounter. I love the game, fun, very exciting, and I'm sure the fans would have loved to see it. Well, doesn't go well every time for you, but you have to come back stronger, looking to win the game against St. Lucia in Grand Bay on the next game, and just do as best as you can. Yeah, that was always the goal since we come into the tournament. Our goal was to win, take the trophy back home, leave it in Dominica, and that's our goal.
And that's Dominica's captain, Arsenio Fontaine. In the other match at the Geneva playing field, where St. Lucia picked up their third win of the tournament with another crushing win over St. Vincent. St. Lucia took first knock and were bowled out for 179 in 36.3 overs. Jamian Thomas got 28 and Royston Fannis 21. Kevin Joseph picked up 4 for 37 and LeBron Douglas 3 for 24 for St. Vincent. St. Vincent in search of 180 to win. They were reduced to 12 for 6 before being all out for 100. Zach Thomas scored 54. We had Nathaniel Joseph getting 4 for 10 and Tyler Venner 3 for 10 for St. Lucia. St. Lucia won the game by 79 runs. Here now is the St. Lucian captain Theo Edward, who says it has been a good start to the tournament.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Lord. The last game we lost, the guys guys were hurt after the game, so from since then we just got a little hungrier, and it just shows today that we could really win this tournament, and guys just performing in little areas to help out the team.
Was there any fear from you or your team with regards to your performance today?
Well, not at all. I think that the way we've been bowling from since we started the tournament, I knew that today we would either get them below 100 or probably, as you saw today, just over 100. And the bowlers are in form, so we always back ourselves to defend any total.
And that's St. Lucia's captain, Theo Edward. Well, St. Lucia, they're sitting on top of the point standings by virtue of having a better net run rate than Dominica. Both teams are on 6 points. Grenada has 2 points and St. Vincent 2 points as well. Let's stay with cricket news because a half-century for the West Indies wicketkeeper Tevin Imlach as Guyana registered their first win in the CWI Regional 4-Day tournament as they beat the Windward Islands Volcanoes this afternoon in Antigua. Guyana, chasing 232 to win, were solid in the run chase at 106 for 1. Before they lost a few wickets, they eventually got to 233 for 6 to win by 4 wickets. Tevin Imlach, he made 82, Matthew Nandu 58, and Gudakesh Moti 23. While Ryan John, he picked up 2 for 48, and Kenneth Demba 2 for 75 for the Windward Islands. The final scores, the Windwards 286 and 209, Guyana 264 and 233 for 6. Guyana's captain Tevin Imlach says it was a good to come out on the winning end.
Yeah, it was challenging. a lot of variable bunks. But the guys fought hard, and Windwards, they gave us a real challenge. Their bowlers were very disciplined. They were very good in the field as well. Barney put on a few catches, but we did as well. But they were good. It was a hard-fought game, in my opinion. A good start. I mean, anytime you win a game, a 4-day game is always hard-fought, and they definitely give us a challenge. They win a lot of these sessions. But we managed to be better than them on this occasion. We struggled with preparation in terms of the weather back home. So happy to see some of the guys in good form. Most of the batters would have gotten a start with a 50 in either innings. So that's a good sign for us moving into the other games.
And that's Guyana's captain, Tevin Imlach. Meantime, the West Indies opener, John Campbell, and West Indies batsman Cook Mackenzie, they got centuries as Jamaica pulled off a stunning win over Barbados a few moments ago, chasing down over 300 on the final day. Let's recap the day 4 highlights. Barbados declared on 317 for 8. Kevin Wickham got his second century of the match, getting 108 not out. Jamaica chasing 324. They got a dream start with Cook Mackenzie and John Campbell sharing an opening partnership of 242. John Campbell made 126. Cook Mackenzie 135 not out as they powered Jamaica to a score of 326 for 3. The final scores in that game is Barbados 348 and 317 for 8 declared. Jamaica 342 and 326 for 3. Jamaica won that game by 7 wickets. Dominica registered their first win in the Caribbean Netball Association's Jean Pierre Under-16 Netball Tournament with a hard-fought win over the Cayman Islands this afternoon in Trinidad, where the game was a seesaw battle throughout, and Dominica entered the fourth quarter with a 1-point lead, leading the match 17-16. Dominica were able to hold their nerves, and they played a strong fourth quarter to walk away 24-22 winners, putting an end to their 3-match losing streak, while Dominica will play Grenada in their next match tomorrow. Let's go back to cricket news because St. Vincent will play host to matches in the 2026 Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League for the first time as that competition gets underway in August. Caribbean Premier League CEO Pete Russell says that the CPL is excited with the move as it forms part of their expansion vision. This year's tournament will feature 6 teams: the defending champions, the Trinbago Knight Riders, the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, the Barbados Royals, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, St. Lucia Kings, and the new franchise, the Jamaica Kingsmen. Meantime, Cricket West Indies President and St. Vincent Tourism Minister Dr. Kishore Shallow says this is a big move for St. Vincent. He says the country could also have its own franchise in 2027.
It will be 3 matches, all neutral matches. So, obviously we don't have a franchise here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And so what we'll have are 3 neutral matches, but very exciting matches. I've seen the pictures. And, it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere at Annisville playing field. The games are likely to start at 7 p.m. The promotion for those matches will start very soon as well. But it has really been an effort between the CPL, who expressed interest in hosting games at a neutral venue, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, understand that there's the opportunity for that, agreed. There are terms agreed by both parties, St. Vincent, the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and CPL. And so far it's shaping up to be really, really, really good. And there is an interest from St. Vincent and Grenadines, the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, to own a franchise here, and that interest has been expressed to CPL. In fact, I'll go as far as stating that CPL has responded to St. Vincent and Grenadines government with a letter of intent to suggest that there's a potential franchise will be in St. Vincent and Grenadines from 2027.
And that's Cricket West Indies President and St. Vincent Tourism Minister, Dr. Kishore Shallow. A captain of the women's national football team, Trinity Esprit, says while yesterday's World Cup qualifying result against Antigua was heartbreaking, the team gave a good account of themselves. The national women's team earned their first point of the tournament as they played to a draw with Antigua yesterday. Trinity Esprit put Dominica in front in the second half, but Dominica conceded a late penalty as the match ended 1-1.
Honestly, for first off, obviously how the ending went, it's obviously a bit bittersweet because we were in it for so long, and fortunately, we did give up a goal. But looking at the whole game in a whole, you could see the improvement, the way we moved from the first two games to this one. We showed a lot more attacking potential, and we still showed strong defensively. And it was great to see how we were able to work together, and even the opportunities we got, unfortunately, we weren't able to put in the back of the net. But it really looks promising to see how forward we could go with this program.
And that's captain of the women's national football team, Trinity Esprit. Meantime, head coach Ronnie Gustav says despite the result, the team has shown improvements.
And I think the game today was a well-fought game. Team Dominica, we had a plan and we went into the game, and I think we executed that plan to the best of our abilities. We really wanted to come out with a win, but unfortunately, we feel lapses in the last minute of the game that caused us for the team to convert on us. But nevertheless, I'm very much proud of the ladies, how they carried the center pitch. We get a few opportunities that we could bury the game early, but did not get it. But I have to say there's a lot of improvement from the previous game we played, that we get a lot of chances up front, and we did not capitalize. But I would say it's a positive way going forward that we can take from that game to build on.
And that's head coach of the women's national football team, Ronnie Gustav. Dominica will play their final match in the World Cup qualifiers against Nicaragua on the weekend. Well, that's where we'll come to the end of the DBS Evening News and Sports. Of course, you heard the news with Ali and Christopher. I brought you the sports on behalf of the entire News and Sports Department. Our links person, DJ Halo Boy, Gavin Richards saying good evening. But just a quick program note. Remember, there's Off the Field tonight at 7 o'clock. And we will have an hour program, I believe, tonight. And, of course, you want to stick around. Join Delvin Esprit, Gavin Richards, as we discuss the latest in sports so far for the day. All right, we'll see you at 7 o'clock.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.